tentou, cara. E será que ele faz aqui ainda pronta? Foi cancelado!
This is it, the Null Commander sent them up, and instantly around the corner, Zelsa's waiting. Oh my god!
Here with the coach of Loud, a very close map pick of yours, Lotus, but you ran away with it in the end. Something I want to ask you is that we talk a lot about the Taeho and how impressive his util is. You managed to run away with it without a Taeho versus a Taeho. Why do you think that is?
I think that we practice a lot against teams that play with Taeho. Our play style doesn't use this too much. I think that's a more aggressive agent, so we play more passive, kind of this. So we have a really good plan for this week. We practice a lot against Taehos, so that's why we have a better plan for today, better than them.
Better than them. Best luck on map 2.
And better than them they were. A 13-11 scoreline gives Loud that first win. Now, you're probably realizing Vancility, you hear me? Vancility actually grew hair. No, we're actually joined by Emily, who's here today. Emily, welcome to the desk. In case you guys aren't familiar, Emily, played for FlyQuest, Game Changers competitor, pro players, been in the game for a minute, right?
Got the insane Omen 1v4 clip.
Hold the applause, hold the applause.
I mean, Sentinels could have used a little bit of that, I don't know.
It definitely could have, but let's go ahead and dive into it. Emily's going to be joining us here for this segment. Let's talk about what we just saw, because Loud comes out and manages to pick up a massive win. Now, here's the thing. We thought that this was going to be Sentinels really rolling with this Taeho ender, but really it just felt like Loud had the
Look at this calamity of rounds. It's a team flash blinding 3 players, Kawa gets, and then here, that's a tripwire that catches Bang, and then no one's looking
No one breaks the
at
eye.
the Fade Eye. So, it was just this string of 2-3 rounds in a row that Loud kind of ran away with it because of failure to break utility and then poor incorporation of the breach flash.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, right, Emily, what does Sentinels do because you heard Coach SCK saying, we practiced all week against these Taehos, so we are prepared for this. Now, well, what do you end up doing? If they got your number, if they know what you want to do, how do you try and work around that?
That is very tough. Taeho breach combo has a lot of util going into the round. I think they had the right idea, but I don't think their executes were the best.
Yeah.
Their, I guess, timing was really off for me.
Yeah, timing did feel like that was a big problem for them. And even then, it also felt like Loud was taking advantage of that big time.
Yeah, because we were talking about it during the game, and you were saying that while Sentinels are using their util at the start of rounds, a lot of times they were speeding up into the sites before
they even have the recharge, which I think is what makes Taeho breach so strong. They, both their stuns line up with each other, 40-second cooldown, but they weren't using that on their execs.
Yeah, and there's other tools they had too, for example, Yoru clone can break those tripwires, but for whatever reason, that was getting broken earlier. It wasn't actually going deep enough to break the tripwire. So even when they were still trying to use those other tools to speed up, it still was players getting shot on traps.
Also, I'm curious what the first bloods were like as well, because it felt like Sentinels were going to a lot of those fights.
Can we pull up the that again? I don't know.
I'm quite curious what that was, but in any case, though, at the start of the show, we always like to do our predictions, right? The thing is, Emily, she wasn't here yet, so we didn't show Emily's predictions. But it turns out Emily really wanted to get her predictions on screen.
Yeah, whoa.
And let's go ahead and show.
I was astonished. I was absolutely astonished that everyone was voting for Sen here when I was 2-1 Loud all the way.
You're the only one.
I feel like no one else is this big on Loud.
Why?
What has you believing in them?
Just based off of their last few matches, I think they're going really strong, especially against their last matchup. I watched their split. They have a really good, even though they weren't playing Taeho breach here, I'm so excited to see that. I need to see it go to map 3.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would say a 2-0.
So, what's interesting though is that we were talking about how maybe the match opponents weren't necessarily up to the same caliber, and that could a easier match schedule, so on and so forth. You don't believe that. You don't believe that narrative.
No, I'm a big Loud fan.
Okay, I respect it. I like it. All right, then. Well, you heard here from Emily. She's the only Loud believer. So for Brazilian Valorant fans out there, there's your hero. But for now, though, let's go ahead and toss it over to Coach Kaplan, who's standing by with Elizabeth.
Here with the coach of Sentinels, Kaplan. A very close map, but Loud runs away with it 13-11. What did you tell the boys back there that they needed to work on in order to take away map 2?
Gonna tell them again before we load in, we just gotta wake up. We're just playing scared. We're playing like this is a different game than the one we practice every day. It's a harder game than we normally play. We just need to play with confidence, and there's no excuses. I have an incredibly talented squad who all have stage experience, so we just gotta play like we're here to win and do what we've practiced at the right pace, and we'll be good.
Best luck in map 2.
Do what they have to do to get the win. Play with that confidence. That's what Coach Kaplan wants to see.
Yeah, that was a weird one because that felt like a little bit more aggressive than I'm used to out of Cap.
I like it, though.
He was clearly not happy with how Sentinels were performing.
Well, how could you be happy with it, given that you're running Tejo, the greatest agent in the world, and then out of nowhere.
Okay, we're pulling the comps out of perspective.
Hyperbole,
true,
but
true.
know.
I can read what you're doing here. No, but truthfully, I think like especially that second half was kind of a disaster, a string of some really tough rounds. So I think it might even be a little bit more than just confidence here, and it's like basic fundamentals that they need to be hitting. That just
I mean, there were whole rounds where like haunts weren't even being shot at.
Oh, for sure. People just not even holding smokes. Like they were taking the sites with Tejo Breach and just not holding or like going back to the fundamentals.
Yeah, they were getting away with it, Loud was. And now we move on to Pearl, where, I genuinely did not think Loud would be in this position, but here they are, and they look great.
Sure, and look, truthfully, I'm still riding with Sentinels on this one, because think about how close that map was and how sort of lackluster the fundamentals were for Sentinels. Like, I have
like
some belief here that you can tweak that, like you're saying, get course corrected coming in here and look way better.
But does Pearl allow you that kind of freedom to do that, right? Is this the map where, like, you're now kind of been down in the dumps a few times here. Pearl's very, like, you kind of just run like 1 or 2 plays over and over and over again. So what is your take on it? Do you feel like Sentinels have the opportunity here to kind of shift this around, or, well, what we saw in that last game could maybe play?
I think if Sentinels bring it back to the basics, I definitely think, it would be...
It should be them.
It should be them. It should be them, I will say that. But it just depends on if they can actually get those fundamentals rather than the new comp.
It was startling, though, to see Coach Kaplan be so like, whoa, you got to make this happen, right? Yeah. So if anything, if there's one thing that we know, it's Coach Kaplan was probably giving those boys a few words in the back as well. Certainly wanted to make sure that these guys are all ready to go as we get ready for Pearl. And we are going to give you guys a quick commercial break. When we come back, we dive into map number 2. It's Pearl. Can Loud close it out 2-0, or with Sentinels get the dub and force map 3? We'll see you on the other side.
Pearl is the arena where we find out if we're going to go the distance, if we're going to go to map 3, or if Loud are going to silence all of the haters and all of the doubters and take Sentinels down 2-0. I'm Doug. With me on the call is Dre. We're going to take a look at Agent Select. I would imagine, Dre, that we're going to get a lot more of this Vice, Breach, Yoru stuff out from Sentinels that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything change for either of these teams. We saw, previously Loud even running the default composition. And I really like the way that Sentinels approached Pearl with this comp that they ran on Lotus. It seems like this is their bread and butter. I think that they did a really good job of identifying where DG Zin's operator was on the defensive side of Lotus. And this composition specifically has so much good utility to flush out an Opper, even punish them. I mean, we saw clips of Cryo getting absolutely demolished by Tejo missiles, getting stuck in a corner, and Zek and TPing on him. So I think that for Loud, their key to success is maybe identifying if the op isn't working and putting DG Zin on that rifle.
There's that comp that you were mentioning on the side of Loud. You've got Jet, Astra, KO, Sova, and then Cypher. And then again, we imagine Sentinels will be showing a bit of the same. I want to get your thoughts on this because this was part of the conversation that the desk had at the beginning of the show was Tejo's win rate against non-mirror matchups.
Yeah.
They did it once, and you even heard STK say in the interview with Liz, they felt very confident in a plan to not have to run Tejo and still be able to beat it. They did it on Lotus. Pearl feels like a different beast, though.
Yeah, especially with the changes to the smokes where you can't just ping and spam anymore. The Tejo utility feels like it's just even stronger for that because you can use missiles on the spike. You can do everything of that sort. How many rounds did we see Sentinels get away with defusing the spike against 100 Thieves without getting spammed? It's really changed the entire game, and it's changed this map of Pearl.
it does feel like Taeho's, maybe I would venture to say, strongest map would be Pearl. So again, we'll see. Can Loud do it again? They were able to figure out how to get a win against the Taeho comp without running one on Lotus. We'll see if Pearl tells a similar story. Loud on the attacking side, a little bit of a exploratory mission towards the middle of the map and up towards Art. And it's not a split, though.
Yeah, this already looks like the last pistol they ran on Pearl. And they lost. They got demolished here in Art.
Watch that flash. There it is. DG has to accelerate and still gets a kill on his Elsis. Traded right back, though, from John as he takes a step back and takes another with him.
But the explosiveness right now from Loud. All the meanwhile, Pancata, he's now creeping up C-Long. Narrate, get some info. But this is a free C site currently. Sentinels, they're going to have to regroup, get together, try to get some nice shots here with those ghosts that they have. Zekin and Narrate. Zekin, we saw him get 3 in the previous pistol on Lotus. All headshots. He's going to have to step up huge here. Loud, they're playing this so cautious. It's honestly buying a lot of time for Sentinels to get into good positions for this retake.
Well, I mean, Sentinels have to go slow here. There's no idea on where the other members are, and you know they're outnumbered. Note here, clean bill of health for both the Duelist and the Initiator.
Yeah, Kawanzin also has that light armor. It's going to take 2 bullets to take him out at least.
Surely you're not expecting him here. You've been spotted, you've been stunned, and now the swing impending. Kankata's shoulder.
Good jiggle.
Has been seen. Off of it. The clone is so good, but again, he still can't find the kill, and all this is doing is buying time. Sentinels have to accelerate here, and now they're going to have their attention divided. I said one way, I said another. Zekin in a 1v3. He's gotten it down to 1. It's just not enough. He was way too weak.
They tried their best. Pancata, he's just too sharp. 5-0 in first kills, first deaths on the last map. He closes this pistol round out, but Loud again. They get the first blood and the trades to follow up. They had 16 first kills on Lotus, Doug.
That's ridiculous.
Sentinels had 8. And I remember John QT saying in the last series when they lost the first map, 13-4 to 100 Thieves on that split, we were playing like boys on that last map. Let's play like men now. How many times can that speech work, though, before you just have to play like that from the start?
I think it also was a frustrated look out from Kaplan as Loud. Just really highlighting the gun difference here. DG able to get 2, make that 3. A classic.
It's so
just
reminiscent of the Lotus, too, right? When there was a stack in C, right behind the smoke, but they just get sprayed down.
Yeah, the classic just really whimpers in the face of a Vandal in a situation like that. But yeah, it was frustrated from Kaplan. You heard in the interview with Liz in between maps, like they need to play like this is the same game that they play in practice every day. And there's no excuses. Their team that has stage experience, things like that, is just a very different tone out from their head coach.
I mean, they really curated one of the best rosters, I think, out of any of the teams in VCT. You pick up one of EMEA's best players in Narrate. I mean, yeah, he was in NA before, but you bring him back. He had such a strong performance in EMEA. You bring Bang, who's one of the best controller players in NA, hands down. No question about it. A little bit of whiffage, too. Will get the job done, but then you have Loud, who brings back stragglers, people that have been brought down to the gulag.
You're right, though. I think the Sentinels roster was built to win, right? Like that was the intentions behind these pieces that they put together. And again, Kaplan's a man who wears his emotions on his sleeve at times, and you know what he's thinking and how he's feeling. So
yeah.
Definitely not how they wanted to start this series or this map. Down 2-0, but now they have guns to fight back with.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it seems to be this year slow starts for Sentinels, but one round, one eco, something of the sorts, it can really just bring Sentinels all the way back. And once they get the ball rolling, that's when you see this crazy type of comeback. Still very early on in this map. This first gun round should shape up how the rest of this half will go.
Loud is making a lot of noise towards B, but you take a quick look at the minimap, they're not all there. Really just intended to manipulate rotations, draw them back.
And what have we seen so far? We've seen a heavy mid geared up pistol. We've seen a lot of pressure on A on the anti-eco. Now, all this C space gathered, drone invested. 3 members are stuck here at B. You look at the minimap, everyone on Loud already leaning towards that A site. This is great IGLing from Vinny.
Zekin's in a tough spot here. This 1v1 is big. And he stands and he delivers. Now you expect the acceleration out to rotate, but keep a close eye on the mini-map once again because it's Kawanzin who's going to be looking to do what Pankata could not. And Zekin, again, is wise to it.
So aware.
Eyes on the back of his head. He knows where the threat's coming from. Dart be damned, ignoring it in the face of it. Gets a kill on the Kawanzin anyway. Now is able to TP away. Threat dealt with. Numbers their way. DG, in the face of all that utility, you've got the stun, you've got the drone, you've got a barrage headed your way. And still trying to navigate and dance around that. Required to do a fancy little 2-step. Face of the flash, Vinny on the turn, still healthy enough to fight. 1 kill for 1. And those numbers do not add up when you're down in a situation like Loud were. Sentinels were on the board.
Zekin is him. All that damage he just did in A main. The pre-fire on the Kawanzin. Kawanzin was a player in the last map who was winning so many of the head-to-head 1v1s. This time, even with scans on Zekin, he gets taken out by a pre-fire. And this is something that Sentinels are so good at, is anchoring this A site. There's so many angles they approach you from. If you don't have that A main control, it just adds another one to the mix. So much of their success is revolved around retaking that A site, getting a couple picks on the way in. You're going to see a lot of Zelsis playing around smokes on A, Bang even playing in front of his Astra Stars, then sneaking back into sight. B pressure again from Loud. KO the only one outside of A. He's going to use this knife, try to get some info. He already used it. Right now, the defense holding their ground, not biting on anything.
Yeah, they've really only seen what they saw, the knife and then the dart, which is very similar. This is the same look that Sentinel saw in the previous round. Loud are showing the exact same thing. And so we'll see if this 3-1-1 default continues for Loud.
Yeah, another 50-50, this time a flash.
It's the same look, but this time, as you were saying, he's got a flash to try to tip things back his way. Zekin dancing around, he's got utility to help. That's another 1v1 going the way of the duelist.
Okay, Doug, he's truly had enough. He's taking things into his own hands. He gets flashed off that line, he still stays and fights that.
That's what you want out of your duelist. Meanwhile, Loud now choosing to accelerate and go back towards B. You got DG who's already dashed backside, but Telsis is gone unchecked. Kawanzin still snaps on him though. Finds a kill, and it looks free. DG continuing to push up, Phantom in hand, Zekin on the swing, and that's another head claimed. A massive round out from Loud.
And I don't even know how that's even possible in the first place. What is that flick from Kawanzin on the Zelsis? Zelsis gets so many kills like that, playing on the edge of a smoke, but to get flicked in that manner, also Bang. He didn't even get to play the round, he just gets spammed off the rip through a smoke. This Loud team, some of the things that they've been doing, some of the things they've been showcasing, it's been nothing short of spectacular. So this time, there's going to be backup in A main. They've had enough of Zekin being here. It's a dash, dagger, suck play.
And bring it a little bit more muscle.
They truly were like, yo, if you're going to stay here, we're going to try to punish you. Wise of Zekin not to play in the same spot, but the economy of Sentinels, it got broken in that last round. Everybody on Sheriffs. A quick TP out of mid. But another stack from Sen towards this A site, and Loud, they seem to be running into him. Right. The first time around, it was a spam through the smokes. This time Sentinels are playing way more back. And in these positions, I mean, you can really pincer the attackers. Rockets can isolate. You have a lot of stuns. You already have a tether lineup coming out here. Loud needs to be very careful. That's a great entry from Tui's.
Stars go down, the utility goes through, and Loud go forward. But the thing is, they haven't really made their way out of main yet. That choke has gone uncleared. Zekin's able to get one, though. But Loud persistent in their approach, continue to push the pace, continue to move forward. And the lighter defense from Sentinels there will crumble. Didn't have the guns, they had the numbers, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, you don't have the Phantoms to really get what you want to do, spamming through that smoke. It was a nice headshot by Zekin with the Sheriff. He's really came online. But I have to say it, Loud have done their homework, and it is showing right now. The contact into Art here, getting that pick, and not just running out with the first layer of utility on the attacking side. They baited out so much of that defensive utility, the Fade Eye, the Teho missiles, and then they regress. Use those guns to their advantage. It's very smart fundamental play right now from Loud. Here's that dash play again.
Aggressive, they're investing a lot behind this.
Oh, what a connection.
Dropping John, and the Blades are looking for more, but he's been sucked into place. Now being able to accelerate and go again, he just waltzes into his death. Narrate is there. He's gonna pop his ult, and it's gonna connect on a couple of members. All three, there's one missing. But how do you navigate through all of that info in such a tense moment? Kalanzin strikes onto Narrate.
And now that's B-side completely open. Vinny calling a freeze to the round. Zekin, he's regressing into A main.
He's got to be careful. Cannot overextend.
But look at how deep Kalanzin is going. He's going to creep by water. He hears the rotate. Zelsis.
Like two ships in the night. Oh, only one of them knows more than the other.
What great IGLing right now. You dagger the sight. It hits Zelsis in that moment, I believe.
Kalanzin is still in that position that you mentioned here. Zelsis running over. That's as free of a kill as you're going to get. 3 on the round for Kalanzin. Second in a 1v3. Gets his one. Still a winnable situation here. Can he convert?
He has to convert.
Spike planted.
It's a big ask. Note here, Vinny is weak. Pancada stands with him though. Second with so much to do, carefully, meticulously, clearing every single angle, every single corner. He's got to speed up though. Time is not on his side. Off the tap, he spots one. Still no idea where the other one is. Vinny biding his time, waiting for the swing. Knife out, he's got to reposition. Spotting the other, now has idea where both of them are. But it's too much to deal with. Loud will get to 5.
What phenomenal IGLing right now from Vinny. He's really running circles around this Sentinels defense. This set play off the rip, the Sova ultimate to punish John QT. You have to be frustrated, but the timing on the lurks and the deposit, using the recharge of the dagger to get info that there's still a player on A, taking your odds at B. It's just smart gameplay. There's nothing to be said more about it. Vinny, the IGL sitting at 7-4-4. Another KO ultimate online.
And a timeout called from Sentinels. Again, the last time we heard from Kaplan, he sounded frustrated, perturbed at what he was seeing, and I imagine the conversation hasn't changed much here.
And at this point, as a player, I would imagine you'd be very frustrated with what's happening to you as well. I mean, you even the trades on the site, but then you're getting lurked on. Then there's a deposit of a Sova. No one really expects the Sova lurk.
No, why would you?
But it was drawn up like that from the start for Loud. He was sitting all the way in the back of spawn with that lineup dart. Gets the Sova ultimate. He's the win contingency plan, wrapping all the way back around Art. And so far, there's been so many different type of looks from Loud. It's really hard if you're Sen because your retakes haven't really been working. That's the bread and butter that you fall back on when you aren't winning those 50-50s.
What's the adaptation? What's the change? What's the tinkering of the approach on the other side of this timeout?
I don't know. You don't really have that big of an investment. This time, Cypher in a main with a deep cam. He will spot Zekin out. And he wants none of that smoke. He knows how that fight has gone. Playing so far back. Dagger.
Remember here, that knife has shown A at the beginning of almost every round, so it's just a different look.
Yeah. It's a heavy lean right now towards B.
Trying to proc the wall.
Yeah, great bait of the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, really the way that Loud have approached dealing with the Sentinels utility. They've exposed a big flaw. And they're waiting now for a set play. Doug, they're waiting for that set play that Sentinels threw against 100 Thieves with the Tejo missiles onto pillar and backside.
That's the cue for them to go. The ult has been popped from Vinny, and now they can move towards B. Remember here, the gun's not great. Any damage is well spent. That's a big one out from Bang. Off the flash, the swing from DG as he continues to go back sight and claim names. That's all three. Narrate once again in a 1vx. That feels borderline impossible.
I mean, the human aimbot, he's locking on with no hesitation. He's really, really stepped up his rifle play here. All that time spent in Tier 2. Finally gets a chance again. With a team no other than Loud. One of Brazil's finest over the years. What a resurgence from DG Zine. We saw glimpses of what he was capable of on Furia. But he has stepped it up to another level, Doug.
Here's an adaptation, an op in the hands of Zekin. It's just hard. I mean,
already gets baited out.
Yeah, he's already pushed off the angle.
What do Loud decide to do off of this information, though? Don't have another chance with the drone, at least, to clear that. But this gives confidence. 2 Pancata, 2 2Es to start trickling forward, clearing out some of the other space. I mean, they have so much map control right now, and Zekin, he's staying towards his B site.
John has ult. Loud with none to speak of.
And this is where Bang shines. This is where Bang needs to step up and be that site anchor we know he can be.
He's got help here, too. But can they wait this out? John's able to get the first. The spam on his DG's in.
Ridiculous spam kill.
The spike's still not made its way out of art, but the reinforcements have arrived. Keep a close eye on 2Es on the minimap. He one in, it's on the flank. Kawanzine falls. 2Es, if he plays his time right, he had it, but Zelsis a step ahead, 2 steps ahead.
30 seconds left.
And they've been picked apart this round. You imagine there will be a change on the approach from Loud, because it seems like Sentinels have figured that out. A flawless one as they get to 2.
At this time, Sentinels not dropping early, playing that full retake, committing to it at A. John, I don't know how he gets that spam kill. Maybe just knows the pathing of DG Zine on this A exec.
Yeah, heard the dash, whatever it was.
That's a hard read. He spammed the top of sight right there, and Bang. He's so good at anchoring this A site. Sneaks into that pit area and just spams the planter. And now we have Loud going back to that default with the KO dagger in A main.
Time to jump.
Doesn't connect onto Zekin. That should be a good picture painted for where their operator could be. And I cannot believe he just did that with a Phantom.
I was about to say that. That was a Phantom from another map over. But Zelsis, able to counter.
He felt himself a little too much there, Doug. A little way too big of an overheat.
DG traded back. And they call freeze to the round again. Yeah. You know, you mentioned it a couple of rounds ago, but the calling from Loud has been spectacular.
Yeah, Vinny crept all the way into A main. He's confident in taking all that space because he knows Zelsis isn't, or he knows that Zekin isn't on the other end. A bit of a double dip here. Oh, Kawanzine. I almost would have rather him be seen by that, but the reason why he's not is because it's A fake right now. Everyone is actually geared up towards B. John.
They're already rotating back towards B. They already know it's a fake. The utility from KO was not enough to draw the veil over their eyes.
Seconds left.
Sight will be given here, though. Vice ultimate in the hands of Zelsis. John, he's sitting on the Armageddon as well. All of Elbow will be blown up right now.
You've got to keep a close eye on Vinny. He's in a position, too. He can scale all the way in through water. Ultimate's now used. First the Cosmic Divide, then the Vice ult. And there's Tejo's ult, too. Again, chaos on the site. Sentinel's able to get a couple, and it's all falling on to Vinny. He was the last man at the scene, and it was just a moment too late.
Good patience on that retake from Sentinels. This time not jumping the gun. I thought John was going to invest that Armageddon and elbow like he's used previously. There's that insane shot. And the overheat. But the Armageddon to push out everybody from that pillar area, flush them out, all out on the site.
Nice.
That's
Good job.
exactly the fights that Sentinels were looking for on that retake. So finally, stringing some rounds together, giving themselves a fighting chance on this map of Pearl.
Oh, I think even more so, starting to take a dent into Loud's economy. Right?
Vinny's on a stinger.
Yeah, it feels like the first time we've had that. And so Sentinels seem to have found some sort of footing. They've inserted Zelsis in a really aggressive angle. So yeah, they know Zekin's there, but are they diligent enough to clear that? The thing is, he could be behind pillar, but they know he's been mollied out, he's been found, he's been had.
What a great trade from Zekin, though.
And once again, Loud will slow the round down.
So risky of Zekin to jump back on top of that box in the face of, what, 3-4 attackers.
But is that not the conversation Kaplan was having? Right? You're right, it's risky, but
He
that
had to.
risk countered it.
Yep. Everybody from the side of Loud geared up towards this A main.
They haven't really shown much either, but once again,
It's Bang.
with help here, it's not just him. He's got reinforcements. He's got Narrate and John here.
He's just so good at anchoring. Look at all the delay he's done. He's snuck into pit again.
Well, and it's not just that, too. They dropped a suck, they dropped the salvos,
They dropped the stun.
and so that's going to give him a little bit more room to come back up off the side of that ult. Uncomfortable. Loud are not able to get settled in.
So much pressure being applied by the spam of Bang.
This push and pull continues. 20 seconds left in the round. No real time to go anywhere else.
And you still have Yoru ultimate.
Oh! Spam through the smoke. Bang falls. Kalanzine gets 4. When the heck did that happen?
He wants it. He wants the ace. Is he going to hunt for it?
He's got the op in hand. There's really no reason not to.
Get out of there, Zekin.
Kalanzine trying to hunt him down. Knows they're nipping at his heels.
I mean, he's already getting flushed out. Look at the minimap Pancata is wrapping all the way behind.
They're trying their damnedest to get this weapon out of their hands. And they might just succeed.
They're trying to feed it to Kalanzine. He baits out the shot with the jump spot.
Pancata will steal it away, but Loud will get to 7. And I think more importantly, they're going to have to reinvest into the ult if they want, or the op, excuse me, if they want it again.
The good thing for Sentinels is with that string of rounds that they got, he will be able to buy up at op for at least one more round. That was a great trade. Bang. I mean, unlucky, bro. Kalanzine, good awareness on the spam there. He held down that pit area just by himself.
Op again online. They've reinvested into it. And this time it's a much more aggressive angle. Remember, it's been passive, but this time he's crept up. No damage dealt?
Can't hit the mark. Drone as well to flush him out even further. So methodical right now from the side of Loud. Pushing this operator back. This is the first time we've seen this aggressive of a mid lurk. Zelsis, you need to be careful, but what is the timing?
It doesn't matter. They both looked away at the wrong time, and now the ult has been invested. Now they're going to dash out onto the side. Now they're going to be able to get the spike down, and now again, Sentinels are on the back foot. What do they have? They have Bang's ult. John has the op.
And Kata as well. You could go for this late flank.
There's been so many layers of these flanks. You're absolutely right. Just when you think you have them dealt with, there's something else creeping away. But Sentinels have been able to open this up. The lurk from Pancata took too long. They're trying to block the suck, and they fail, but now they're going to get a second attempt at it. Pancata, again, creeping forward. They know where he is now, but Bang's going to stick the defuse. Sentinels will get to 4. What a mess of a round.
Textbook retake from Sentinels. Textbook flashes from Zekin. Nobody on the actual site from the side of Loud could see a damn thing on that retake that Sen just did.
And for as much as there was textbook, as you were saying on the retake and stuff like that, this was anything but.
Yeah.
That was the opposite of textbook. I mean, that was silly.
What a timing found from Tui's.
Yeah.
you see Zelsis jump spotting from that spot a lot. This is the problem with running the Vice and not running a Cypher. You kind of have to use your body because players can creep up.
Right.
But you don't expect Tui's to be that close, that quickly into the round. I mean, he took that timing off the rip. But Sentinels, they do snag that round away, and they're still in this. This time, heavy mid for the defensive side. Maybe anticipating a switch up.
They're all fighting here.
Yeah, I think they expected Loud to finally start walking towards that mid or maybe try to catch out Tui's.
Which is what they have been doing, you're right.
And also, last time that Loud played this map, there was a lot of heavy mid focus.
Wait, he's going in. Didn't want to leave Pancada on his own on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, but Doug, we've seen this story before. Sentinels on the retake on B.
Vinny popped his ult. It's going to buy a little bit of time. A small window for them to sink their teeth deeper into this site, into the round. Remember, last one of the half here. Op still in the hands of John. DG tries to turn the flash, and he's disposed of. Now the Nightfall will connect onto all members of Loud. Silence all over, and second swings back, Sight gets 3, and that's the round. Sentinels close out a beautiful half.
A great recovery to this defensive side of Pearl. It was looking so doomed. At one point, it was 6-1 for Loud. Vinny was calling circles around him. DG Zine was just having his way. But Sentinels staying calm, keeping their composure, and sticking to the game plan of what works, which is their retakes.
An incredible first half. Loud up 2. We're going to throw it down to Ender, who's standing by at the co-streaming booth with a couple of very special guests.
Hey, I'm here with Lucky and with Sadil in the co-streamer booth watching the games. And first of all, I just have to say this is crazy because Sadil, I literally coached you on Teddy Tactics in GC. You're a pro, so I want to come to you and ask your thoughts on the game so far and what do you think's been going so well for Loud?
Okay, thank you, Coach. Honestly, I'm here as a Loud fan, so I will say that I think Loud is amazing. I think they're the better team, in my opinion. Zekken's been getting amazing kills, though, on Yoru. He's keep getting the first bloods. But honestly, Loud is the one that is closing out the round. So, I don't know. I know who I'm rooting for, but I know the crowd is Sen fans, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, there they go. There they go. Woo, Loud! Who's with me? Nobody? Okay,
okay, we got some Loud fans. We got some Loud fans in the crowd. Now, Lucky, I know you're a big foodie, and I see you've tried out some of the concessions here. What's the best option here? Do you got a top 3?
My top 3, I think I've tried everything on the menu so far. I can't go wrong with a classic hot dog. I'm really happy it's all beef. So that's my favorite so far. You can't go wrong with some chips and queso, but the brownie melts in your mouth. So I definitely recommend that.
Okay, the brownie melts in your mouth. Have you gotten into anything?
Yeah, I like the burger. The burger's amazing. It's vegan too. I thought it was real meat. What the heck?
Yo, shout out. I mean, that works for me. Absolutely love that. Now, I know there's a lot of Sentinels fans in the crowd, but I want to try something here. I want to see if we from this booth can overpower them. So Sentinels fans, get going, and then the Loud fans over here, we're going to try and fight back. Sentinels, give me something. All right, go Loud, get in there. Thank you so much. We're sending it back to the casters to get into the second half.
Thank you so much, Ender. Again, 2 rounds separating these 2 squads. It's been close, and as you mentioned it really felt like Loud was going to be able to run away with it. They were up big. Sentinels looked frustrated. They looked lost, and Loud were set up to put them away, but as was the case on Lotus, as has been the case oftentimes when we talk about Sentinels and watch this team, is they refuse to relent.
Yeah, it really looked like they finally realized, yo, we remember who we are. We remember why this roster was put together, why we're all on this team.
Deep knife tagging a couple. No rotations. Meanwhile, nice be damned. Unbelievable that TG gets that kill.
And the double dip, getting the 50 damage on the Bang as well. It's a speed up right now. Zelsis, he's going to full commit to this exit.
Fearless in his approach as he continues to dance around and looks for a second target. He does fall, though. Meanwhile, Sentinels crack the site wide open. Kawanzine and Tui's left in a 2v4, and almost all members on the side of Sentinels are weak. They're battered here. That's one found. It's going to fall in the hands of Tui's. Again, 20 HP, 35 and 45. This is very winnable for Tui's.
Problem is,
if he can isolate the ones, if he can get them on their own, there's a shot.
But that's the problem. Sentinels are so good at not giving the 1v1s, and it won't even matter anyway. Bang takes out Tui's. Even if Tui somehow hits that flick, there's 2 more members of Sentinels that are ready to swing out, get that trade. But right now, Loud have felt the pressure of Sentinels. Sentinels, even being a man down right there, Zekin falls early. They just run it down. The trades were perfect. A big pistol round win if you're a Sentinels fan.
Sheriff for DG. Oh, that's aggressive. Benny's got nowhere to go. He's dead.
Yeah, just caught completely in the open.
Meanwhile, they're trying to accelerate down B. Zelsis is ready for it. At least enough to get one.
Yeah, it's a free A site though. Orb is gathered onto DG Zine. He's been hitting some headshots, man. Will get taken out for free here by a headshot. And this retake is impossible. Sentinels surely win this round. And pretty cleanly too, or at least we'll see. See what kind of damage Loud can do here.
As things stand, you're right. They're going to be able to carry 3 rifles.
That's the only benefit. Zekin's going hunting, trying to get that Yoru ultimate even closer to being online. You imagine in the next round you'll see a much slower approach from the side of Sen. And a lot of damage being done right now. Tui's can get another. He can't. A lot of damage done though from the side of Loud.
Yeah, they'll carry 2 guns. I think it made sense to go ahead and send Zekin out with just the Ghost. Yeah. You're right. See if he can get closer to that ult, but dropping one of those rifles is certainly not part of the plan.
Yeah, this is the power of the Tejo. I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You can't really play in between the utility. You're either fully committed in or you're out. This time around, that classic against the Vandal, I mean, Zekin's going to take you down. I was wondering if this was going to be a round where Sentinels tried to get some orbs onto Zekin, but it's just going to be a fast mid approach. They're going to try to take this art space. There is a trip on the other end.
That dog did not detect the trip towards mid. So if they choose to go that way, that still has to be dealt with.
Trip hit, but full disrespect from Zekin. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he's got his TPE back towards spawn, so he can do that. He can be this ward of sorts that can try to explore and find things out and then get back to safety. That timing was not great for him.
Great.
Wow.
Yeah, great proactivity from Loud. That's the smoke. Smoke's completely gone from the side of Sen. They're making a lot of noise on this. They're going to get delayed.
Tui's and Pankata have a lot to do here. Tui's just going to go unchecked, isn't he? Drops the flash on the swing out. John's here to greet him. Pankata's able to deal a little bit of damage, but it's not enough. 3v3 here. They don't really have control.
Spike planted.
Vinny perched up in heaven. They're so paranoid of what's happening around the rest of the map. Kawantine is having to use the drone from so far back in lane.
Does clear out all that space, but at the same time, Zelsis, he's put that wall behind. All eyes ahead.
Stun used, not connecting. Spike ticking. The need to accelerate ever present and growing with every second that passes.
It's not planted for them long.
No, they're going to have to fight through this. That's going to help. That's going to buy a little bit of time. Kawantine has gotten it to half, but he'll pay for it with his life. 2v2 now. Zelsis on the swing, both off of it, and he cannot hold it. He cannot connect. Beautiful from Loud.
Really coming down to the wire. Sentinels with straight brute force running through lane onto that B site. Perfect trades. But that timing into A main really opened up the confidence, and you see the frustration. I mean, he was holding that the entire way through. What a close retake as well. Getting half there, committing your life for the cause. Such a split-second decision that needs to be made, but it was the right one this time around.
That one feels like it got away from him. And now Louder in a really good position. They're up around. They've got some money that they've invested, and their ults are starting to come online at just the right time.
This is such an important round for either side.
Yep.
You really put a dent in the economy either way, whoever wins this round.
This is a swing round. Zalsis is going to use his ult, or excuse me, Zekken. Again, going forward.
He spots them both. Mankata's on an island, he's done.
Oh, he's able to sidestep the salvos, but you don't sidestep that! Sentinel's able to push forward. Bellicose in their approach. Nary's hand gave him away. And they know where the other one is. DG having to reposition. Sentinels with a slight numbers advantage, but Zekken's so weak. And do they know where he is at TP? Now the dart out. DG trying to smoke himself off, waiting for the challenge, daring the swing, daring the bait.
No one's swinging though. What a hard read.
Patience on, and Kalantine swings into his death. DG's gonna have to do it on his own. He's gotten it down to a 1v2, and Zalsis delivers. We're tied again.
You cannot play in B site against the Yoru ultimate of Zekken. He does such a good job of finding out where the defenders are, and that follow-up utility. What was that, by the way, from John? What a flick.
Yeah.
The transfer with one bullet on it? Craziness. This is the power of the Teo Yoru composition, though. You cannot play in these sites.
Again, calm out from Zalsis there. Didn't leave his seat. No crazy pop-off.
Yeah, it's serious.
They're still in this fight. A position to take the lead. Louder on an eco.
Yeah. Jet knives should have been popped. Yep, there it is.
If you're Sentinels here, excuse me, you want to try to get through this round without investing any of those ults. You want to try to carry Johns and Zalsis into the next round.
You also want to play cautiously enough to the point where you do not give DG Zin a first blood with these jet knives. You want to try to identify where he's at, maybe head the other way.
And it looks like DG's been let off the leash. He's by himself.
Yeah, look at the cautious approach right now from Sentinels. Though narrate.
Careful,
he's good
son.
at this.
He's gonna swing you.
What is that right click? What a fast trade though from Bang Dug.
I don't think the observer saw it. That was the one real benefit that they had, and that's now gone. Pinkata feeling the walls closing in.
Yeah.
And if you're Sentinels, it looks like you're gonna get through this with success.
Only one rifle dropped as well. You still have 3 ultimates online and available. Shouldn't have to use anything here. And that really was the cue, though. As soon as you spot out DG Zin in mid, the trade, okay, that's icing on the cake for sure, but you sped up B. You have the whole site. You have the gun advantage. Now Zekken, he's already working towards another ultimate.
Enemy remaining.
Just 3 away now as Vinny falls.
And he's been
so... Oh, and they know where he is,
I'm
too.
telling you. Like, I don't know how... John is truly a master at this agent. How does he know?
He's quite talented.
That's such a far spot to shoot the missiles at. What a hard read.
The round will end without Kalantine getting a duel.
But he does save a rifle.
And Sentinels take the lead. Take a look at this round one more time. Amazing. In fact, we should probably run that one back.
Killed me with that one, bro.
A timeout called from Loud. Another close fight, man.
Yeah. First timeout used for the side of Loud. They do have one more in the arsenal. But yeah, so far this has been an astonishing comeback from Sentinels. I mean, winning 8 of the last 10 rounds. That is difficult, especially with the pressure that Loud was applying. And to be able to flip that and give it back as well. We've seen Loud now crumble on a lot of these site hits. And how do you really weather the storm of all this utility from Sentinels? Like, if you're not confident in your own retake and giving sight, it's gonna be an uphill battle, to say the least. So adjustments to be made. Maybe you'll see more B long control. I'm sure DG Zin would love to have an operator online, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to afford that one.
Oh, they don't have the funds.
And that's so interesting because he is off 56% of the defensive rounds.
And he's not, I mean, he
hasn't had one online at all.
Yeah.
And maybe it is on purpose. Maybe it's deliberate. Maybe he doesn't want to have to deal with the Yoru clone, the Teho utility, all the Fade Prowlers.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of just get bombarded. But here's the change-up. It's that B long control.
Kalenzine popping his ult.
No way.
And Zekin's trying to deal a fight and win it while getting away. That's bloody criminal.
And it wasn't pretty. But it doesn't matter. Everyone geared up towards that A side of the map for Sentinels. The furthest rotation possible right now. Tui's is truly on an island.
DG is starting to arrive at the scene. But this foot race looks like it's going to be won by Sentinels. And they're going to have to give up the space. I mean, they cannot fight here.
You can't. Look at all this utility.
So they concede the site to Sentinels. Live to fight another day, and now attempt this retake. With strength and numbers, and now those numbers equalized.
That's a good opening.
It's a different beast. Cosmic Divide invested. Segmenting the site. Ripping them apart. And now there's more they're going to have to deal with. You cannot play back site. There's nowhere that's safe. Being flushed out from dugout.
Teo missiles coming online in 3 seconds, Doug.
And now this fan fight ensues. Bang's able to connect onto DG, but Loud's able to fight back. John has to be careful on the swing. Kalenzine is there. Pancada's gotten it to half, and the missiles will delay, but the defuse will come through.
It is over.
We're tied again.
And you know what? The idea of John QT using that Armageddon in that pit area, it's so smart, but it actually ends up working against them on accident because it prompts the speed up of Loud, and the Sentinels players on site were just not ready. They weren't ready for the random aggression and the shots that had to be hit in such a high pressure scenario from Loud. There's that operator online.
You were talking about him being, or Tui's being on an island in the previous round. He is certainly left alone here, completely set apart from the rest of his team.
Heavy focus on mid. It's a 1-3-1 approach from Loud. Maybe trying to play in the minds of Sentinels that that operator is towards mid. There was a drone instantly out mid. Really masking where DG Zin is playing. And you see right now from the side of Sen, I mean, they're cautious. They're worried.
This defense has been stingy. They have an idea that Zekin's there. The timing's really nice as the dash dissipates. Doubt. Now in for DG.
Smart of Sen to re-clear mid late in the round. Understanding that the defense is probably pushed back already. Here comes the re-clear though from DGZ. Is he gonna catch out Zekin on this timing? It's actually narrate.
The
that
knife
catches the timing.
The knife tagged him on the tower. They do know where he is. They've also invented the knife vault to try to push Vinny back. And now they realize they're getting closed in on the split is through. DG again with the op, still hasn't fired it off. Because he hasn't had a target, he hasn't had a chance. Continually pushed back.
Spike planted.
And that's enough for Sentinels to get the spike down. Now, the attempt at a retake for Loud is at hand. But how do they find a way in? They're not. They're cutting their losses. They're saving.
It's too difficult. Retaking with the operator.
1 kill onto Kalenzine, and that's enough.
That's the type of match we're in. That's the amount of respect these two teams have for each other. And again, I mean, if you go for this retake and lose, essentially Loud would be
10.
losing 2 rounds in a row, right?
Yeah,
Sen would be at 11-9.
Right.
If you know, unless you get eco'd, but with the way that Sen have been playing, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So Loud saving those weapons, giving themselves a fighting chance in the following round, another chance to tie things up. But yet again, Zekin with that Yoru ultimate, I feel like every single time he's invested that, they've won the round on the attacking side. He just gets so much info and free space. So difficult to deal with. And let's see, maybe this operator B long for DG Zine can be what denies all this B long space that Sentinels have been getting for free, essentially.
Interesting here, light armor on a couple of members of Sentinels, and they had the money.
There's a TP.
Oh, there's a shot out from DG. Vinny joining in, and Pancada drops 2. The transfer's beautiful.
A complete massacre. And Bang just going a little bit too far forward. He was in his... Oh.
Big from John to find 2, but
gosh.
when you're staring down 5, that's a tough ass. So we're tied at 10 again.
He almost connected on that third with a spray transfer, but yeah, Bang was too focused on getting that pickup smoke out or suck in that B connector, that street area, that he just wasn't aware that there's an opper here.
Gorgeous from Pancata there. He's so freaking good, man.
But it really was Loud maximizing on the mistake of Sentinels.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. It looks like a timeout has been called.
Last timeout.
Another moment to slow things down. Another opportunity to kind of, postulate on what's before us, right? Like, what can we expect in these next couple of rounds, Trey?
I think you're going to see more emphasis on this B side from Loud, and I think Sentinels need to identify, hey, we've been destroying at this B side. Let's start working something else. Maybe a little bit of a main pressure. We can still use the stealth bot towards B long, see if DG Zin is posted up trying to get an aggressive angle on it. But there needs to be more action somewhere else. And then you can start going back to B again. This could also be a good opportunity to let the emotions settle a little bit, because this is such a high pressure moment. I mean, Sen, they're down a map right now. We have to keep that in mind. That plays a huge factor. It's a different type of game when you have that on your back. You can't let the little things slip away like what we just saw.
Op still for DG, this time playing towards Art. So that B focus that you were talking about from Loud, choosing to go away from it.
Sentinels will still use that reclear utility, or else they should. Very similar look from Sentinels in this round.
Vinny feeling a lot of the pressure, a counter flash to buy himself some time.
And there's that stealth drone.
Yep.
There's the pickup star. This time around, not getting picked by the operator. Nice jiggle, but he needs to get out of here. We've seen him get punished too many times.
John doesn't have missiles, so they can't flush him out. Instead, they cut noise. An unsettling silence creeps over the site.
All 4 members holding that left side, waiting for the jump up. I think they have an idea that Pancata might have wanted to reposition to somewhere more aggressive, because he's been getting decimated backside.
Sentinels are starving Loud of information here. They are not showing anything.
But the thing is, Loud are willing to play retake on that A site. There are 4 members here. It's going to have to be a flooded. Pancata knows. Here's the cue.
Where's the pop? Pancata on the swing, able to get one on his Elsis, a second on to narrate. That's 3, make that 4. Again, a slaughter. Loud get to 11.
Pancata with the anticipation. There was pings out from Sentinels that he could be there, but he goes unchecked. What a massive round at the perfect moment for Pancata. And the spacing on the peaks was just not there from Sentinels to get the trade in time.
I mean, they tried.
What percent do you think that is? What, 50?
It's got to be more than 30.
70?
That's for sure.
This guy's been a monster. That dagger lands on a couple members of Sentinels. A lot of info gathered. A drone out mid as well.
But Sentinels haven't cared about that. That's not the first time they get tagged by that knife. B main, and they continue to push anyway.
But the thing is, look at how confident Loud are getting when that dagger hits. It's like they know that they're going A.
They're going to fully fight this.
No way, not again.
Stubborn, perhaps, in how they try to go about this. Pancata can't see the thing, and he falls. Zekin finds so much space, finds lethality. And with 5 alive, Sentinels thrive.
And this time, if you're Loud, you are trying to do as much damage as possible. Your economy is fine for the rest of the game. Sentinels, look at their money. If you can break some of these guns, if you could even get 3 guns out, you have a real good chance of securing an advantage in the future rounds.
Oh, how crippling and debilitating that would be. But it doesn't seem like Loud are interested in pursuing that.
I would expect at least Kalanzin to go for something. He's 2 off the orb. I mean, if he gets a kill and gets traded, gets the Sova ultimate online, and you're about to be at a tie. So not thinking too far ahead. We'll see if that Sova ultimate could have helped them in this future round, but that B hit from Sentinels. It doesn't matter if it's Lotus, doesn't matter if it's Pearl. We go B.
They like it, they know what they want to do.
And it's worked more times than not. This time, adjusting the utility, Pancata getting completely flushed out. Sentinels are not falling for that twice in a row. Huge investment there. Tether, the Tejo missiles.
Sentinels are continuing to buy light armor when they can afford full armor.
Yeah, they understand that with the way this match has been going. That was a dodge of a knife this time, by the way. Very intuitive of Zelsis. But they understand with how this game has been going that if it's been round, right? If they lose this round, at least they could still buy the next because of that light armor buy. Playing for the long haul.
Again, listen to how quiet the site is.
We haven't seen Zelsis take this timing yet this match. He might catch players lacking right now. Oh, he can't connect, Doug!
He's made a mess of the situation. Kawanzin's still alive, but so is Zelsis. No harm done.
Goodness.
Meanwhile, Sentinels exploring the other side of the map. You've got DG posted up on a really aggressive angle in A main.
Yeah, Bang has to really wait. He needs these players in Art to take a lot of that pressure off of him. They need to draw. DG's in, but I don't think he's falling for it.
The Haunt didn't tag him. They don't know he's there.
I don't think he's falling for it at all.
Bang is patient with it. There's the op, there's the shot, and there's the kill. And now they know where he is, but they still have to flush him out. You cannot leave him here.
Look at the way he's playing this. Is he ready for Zelsis? I don't think he is. Zelsis, you cannot miss this one.
And he does not. Meanwhile, the rest of Loud are starting to push in through spawn. Off of the flash, too. He's fine second. John trying to do his best to keep them at bay at arm's length as he gets a second video on the trade, though, a 2v2 in this post-plant. John, again, the architect of these rounds, but it's Zelsis who puts the finishing touches on it all. Sentinels get to map point.
He may have whiffed in the beginning, but he made up for it. Oh boy, did he. Securing that timing on a DG. He's not missing twice in a row. And the full spray down on the players on site, thwarting any attempt of a retake. He always steps up when he needs to for this roster. And you can see how much it meant for him. Full buys across the board. Sova ultimate still not online for Kawanzin. And it's fast A aggression from Sen.
But how far do they go? As it seems like the aggression was only intended for A main. Perhaps to see if DG was posted up with an op on that angle, but they find nothing.
And they cycled the orb onto Zelsis. He's one off. They're going to go back B, potentially grab that orb as well. We've seen Sentinels do this B hit time and time again. And the only time Loud was able to hold it was Pancata getting a 4K.
They aren't even concerned about the middle of the map. I don't think they've walked in there.
They do not care. This is such a good call right now from John. That drone. All this utility should be spotted. Pancata.
They've got to know. Zelsis has his ult. They've got to know.
Gotta get out of here, man.
This could be the right cross that puts Loud away. DG's not able to use that op. Forced into lighter weaponry. Pancata weak. Pancata dead. And again, Loud not still really allowed to play the round.
You can't save this time, Doug.
Kawanzin one off of his ult. Keep a close eye on that. Narrate, trying to peek forward, trying to get a kill, and does. Vinny falls now. 3 remain for Loud. You see Zekin, he's gonna go exploring. He's gonna play this really aggressively on the other side of the smoke. Spotting a gun barrel, the snap is magnetic. Zekin puts them away, we're going the distance. (13-11, 13-11).
What an assassination. No hesitation. Pure instinct. Zekin. What a presence in the server.
You talk about wanting to play with confidence. You talk about wanting to take your timings and go make plays. Yeah.
Yeah. From the start, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Solo away main taking 50-50s. Even when he gets flashed, he was staying in there. Closes it out. That B hit is just too strong from the side of Sentinels. Pancata, I mean, he had no idea what to do against all that utility. Played in so many times, got punished for it time and time.
It was just too much. I think it's such a big ask. There's no way. We do have one more map to decide it all. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, the desk will break down map 2. They'll get us all hot and bothered for map 3. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back.